The Pixel 10 series just launched, and instead of excitement, some early buyers are already frustrated. From charging issues to overheating to a design that feels more like carrying a brick than a smartphone, Google's latest flagship isn't winning over everyone who rushed to get it. So, what exactly is going wrong? And should you hold off on buying one? Let's break it down. On paper, the Pixel 10 series looked like a solid upgrade. The big highlight was the new Tensor G5 chip built on TSMC's 3nm process. That should, in theory, mean better efficiency and performance compared to the older Samsung-made chips. Add to that new built-in magnets for Q2 wireless charging accessories, plus Google's usual focus on AI-powered features, and it seemed like a pretty tempting package. But now that people actually have the phones in hand, the story feels a little different. The first thing almost everyone noticed? The weight. Compared to last year's Pixel 9 lineup, the Pixel 10 models are just heavier across the board. It doesn't sound like much on paper, 6 grams here, 10 grams there, but when you're holding a phone for hours or trying to use a giant Pro XL one-handed, that difference adds up. Some users are calling it straight up uncomfortable. One compared it to holding a brick and even said it made them appreciate how slim older Pixels used to be. Why the extra heft? Mostly the bigger battery and the new magnetic ring inside the phone for Q2. Those design choices are good for longevity and future-proofing accessories, but they come with the trade-off of a bulkier feel. And unlike software bugs, weight isn't something Google can patch away. Then there's charging. This is where things get messy. A number of users say wireless charging makes their Pixel 10 run hot, really hot. Others are finding that charging, both wired and wireless, is unusually slow. And in some cases, phones wouldn't charge at all unless using Google's own first-party Pixel Snap charger. That's not what you expect from a brand new flagship, especially when people are plugging into high-wattage chargers that work fine with previous Pixels. One early adopter even described plugging the Pixel 10 Pro XL into his MacBook charger only to have it buzz, refuse to charge, and repeat the cycle until they switched cables. And even then, it only worked slowly on Google's official accessory. That's the kind of frustrating trial and error no one wants after dropping $1,000 on a phone. And it doesn't stop there. Some buyers are reporting that Tap to Pay with NFC isn't working, meaning they can't add cards for contactless payments. Auto Android is also broken for many car models, with Google admitting the issue and promising a fix soon. On top of that, there are scattered reports of the GPU not rendering graphics properly in games. Now, to be fair, it's common for new phones to have some day-one bugs. Software updates usually clear up a lot of the early complaints, especially with things like Android Auto or GPU glitches. Google has already said they're working on fixes. But hardware realities like weight or the smaller camera sensors compared to rivals aren't things that updates can solve. So what does this mean if you're thinking about buying a Pixel 10? If you already pre-ordered and yours is on the way, don't panic just yet. Not everyone is having these issues, and Google tends to be quick about pushing updates for widespread problems. But if you're still deciding, it might be smart to wait a few weeks and see how things shake out. Early adopters always deal with rough edges, but if overheating and charging are more than just isolated bugs, that could be a real headache. The Pixel 10 is still an interesting device, thanks to its AI features, improved efficiency, and Q2-ready design. But it's not quite the smooth launch Google probably wanted. Right now, the early feedback shows that while innovation is there, polish is still catching up. And that's the real takeaway. The Pixel 10 might turn into a great phone after some updates, but as of today, it's giving a lot of buyers more frustration than excitement. If you value reliability above everything else, waiting it out is probably the smarter move. But if you're okay living with some early bugs, the Pixel 10 still has the potential to become one of the best Android phones of the year. It just needs time to prove itself. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.